Hey you guys, it's Casey. Welcome back to my channel. I am going through some empties today. So I've got a lot of them. I had my daughter turned 12 and she had her like friend party yesterday. Ooh, that was loud. She had her friend party yesterday, and some of the girls, like I didn't know, like she just started middle school, so she has some like new friends, and then some I've known since they were little babies, not babies, but probably 2 or 3. And then some like I've known and they've come over a few times, but not a ton of times. So these kids walked into my house and like one of the girls goes, "Oh my gosh, it smells so good in here." And another was like, "Yeah, Miss Casey's house smells great all the time." And another one was like, "Yeah, I really like it when it smells like this particular thing." And I was like, oh, that's what I'm hoping for. Because if you know anything about 11 and 12-year-old girls, they will tell you exactly what they think about if something is not good. So that made me feel good. So I am still on my, like on track. I'm anything that comes in with Scentsy, I am melting that number of things. And so I'm doing really well with that. And I'm still like pretty much through my Rose Girls, so that I have just like a stack of stuff that, like a stash that I can melt from, but not feel like I'm overwhelmed with. So I could just pull a little bit from. So I have started to go kind of to my next project, which is twofold. I want to be using up these cups of anything that I have. I'm trying really hard to use up one-off vendors where I just have something from like a D-stash, that I have some like friend mail that I don't have a lot of from that vendor, and really make a decision about like, is this a vendor that I need like a bin for and a purchase from? So that's what I've got through today. So let's see. I started with this Candied Cranberry Pecan, and I forgot how much I loved this. It's not in the catalog. I wish it was. If it ever comes back and bring back my bar, I realize I need it in my club. So Candied Cranberry Pecan is a really nice, like dark berry. It's not very tart in my mind, but it is not tart, but it is definitely red deep berry to me. So it's like a cranberry that has kind of lost its tartness, and it has like a really nice, like nutty, almost woody note. And it's a super good performer. The scent is lovely. I don't know why they took this out. It is great. Love. I told you guys that that I'm taking some stuff out of my Scentsy Club. So I took out Painted Leaves. I melted 2 bars of Painted Leaves, and this is a gorgeous scent. It is Bath & Body Works Leaves. It's really nice. The reason if you could get this, like I would highly recommend it. Super good performer. It is like dried leaves that have fallen on the ground, but then have gotten a little bit wet, with a little hint of almost like a fruit, like apple-y note. It is super good. I love it. Great performer. Highly recommend. The reason I took it out is because I can get Autumn Road Trip. And while Autumn Road Trip is not exactly the same, I find Autumn Road Trip to be a little bit more woody and like a little bit more fresh air than this. They're similar enough that I'm happy with Autumn Road Trip, and so I'll keep that. But this is a really good one. I would definitely stock up if it came back. I did Amber Hollow and Cedar Cider. So Amber Hollow is, so it's supposed to kind of be like a patchouli note, and it's very resinous and like deep. People don't like, this is super strong. This is either like a love or hate. I'm actually in the middle. Most people are like, oh, Team Amber Hollow, because it gets voted back, and people are like, how did it get voted back? Everybody hates it. I actually don't hate it or love it. For me, it has a little bit too like sickeningly sweet, like almost like sick like the smell of sick sweet. And so I don't like that sweet note of it. I like the deepness. I like the resinous nature of it. I just don't really like the sweetness of it. But it's a great performer. You could get away with like 1 cube in like a pretty open space. It's pretty strong. And I went with Cedar Cider because I think that they have similar vibes in that this is like woody and sweet. And so it mixed really well together. Cedar Cider is available now. The cedar note is very prominent to me. I don't really get like a cider note. I get a sweet, like a sweet note that I guess is the cider note, but to me, cider is a little bit effervescent, which I don't like love anyway, but I expect cider to kind of smell like that and to have a little bit more fruit note than this. So this really smells like a cedar chest, like the inside of a cedar chest, with some like fruit and maybe some flat cider, like kind of that note, but that's also a really good performer. I did, I don't know where the other one of these are, but I did 2 of these. And this is the light side of the force, and I really like this one. It is sweet and florally and perfumey. It's got a really interesting scent. I would recommend this. Like it's, I did have it in my club for a while because my husband is kind of a Star Wars fan, but he's not a crazy, like over the top Star Wars fan. But I thought like, you know, I'd throw him a bone, but he doesn't love it enough to like say, yeah, keep getting it. But this is one that I would get more of. Like it's very sweet, very pretty, super good performer, lasts forever. Fills an open concept. It's for a fresh scent, because a lot of fresh scents I can get nose blind to a little bit, or I feel like they get lost in a room sometimes. They're just not as amped up as they need to be unless they're laundry. This one is a really super good performer. I would highly recommend that one. I mixed these 2, which is Hug in a Mug and Farm Stand Pumpkin. So Farm Stand Pumpkin is a nice pumpkin. Sometimes I struggle with pumpkin because it's like canned pumpkin, and I'm not feeling that, but this is really good. I mean, honestly, it's a really good pumpkin. It does have a bit of a spice note, which is not really what I would expect from Farm Stand Pumpkin. I would expect it to be just kind of pumpkin, but it doesn't smell like canned pumpkin, so it's nice. And then I did Hug in a Mug, and Hug in a Mug is very chocolatey. That's why I went with Farm Stand Pumpkin. I wanted some kind of like, you know, fall fruit note to kind of tame down the chocolate. I don't love chocolate in wax, but if I'm gonna do it, this is the season for me. I don't really like it in the winter time. I like it more in the fall time. But this is a nice chocolate in that it is not a deep, dark, bitter chocolate, and also not a super creamy, sweet thing. It's kind of in the middle. So yeah, I like it. I like it for what it is, I guess is what I'm saying. I did Around the Campfire. I love Around the Campfire. It was a little bit more smoky than I remember it last year. Kind of musty smelling, but I still really like it. Great performer. It's smoky, sweet, smoky, a little bit musty smelling. But I liked it. I love it. And I did Scary Good, which was the scent of the month last month. October, September, I don't know. September. So this is like supposed to be like a butterscotch cinnamony note. I mean, sorry to myself for hitting myself in the face with the clamshell. I mean, it smells like clove to me and like a little bit of caramely butterscotch note, I guess. It's fine. It's not, like people are raving about this and maybe people think it's great. I just think it's okay. It doesn't smell like special or incredible. It's just fine. So there's that. Okay, that is all my Scentsy. I did Rose Jam from Sparkles. I cut it in half. So I love Rose Jam. Rose Jam is a Lush dupe. It is rose without it being too powdery and like a really like beautiful fruit note. I love, love, love rose jam. I've had it from a million vendors. I will continue to buy rose jam, but I won't buy it from Sparkles only because I have found that Sparkles wax for me does not last. It is, it has some good scent, but like this, I cut in half and I put in my warmer to go to sleep. And I've put rose jam from 4 or 5 vendors in there, same amount. And it just, in the morning I can still smell it because it's a really strong oil, but I couldn't with this. So I'm like, eh. So there's that. I also did English tea from, Sparkles. I did find, and I cut this in half too. I put one part in this room and one part in my bedroom. In this room, I have a 25-watt ceramic warmer. In my bedroom, I have I think it's a 10-watt element warmer. It might only be 8, I'm not sure. But, so I'm realizing that her wax has to be in a warmer, like a hotter warmer than the one in my bedroom. So I'm not melting in there anymore. This one is a really nice, like lovely scent. It's like that London Earl Grey tea kind of note, like a little bit of lemon. Not a black tea, but more like a brown tea. But it's really good. Like that oil, that Earl Grey oil is beautiful. I love it. And here it performed decently. I could smell it pretty well. Still, the longevity was not there. It might need even hotter of a warmer. My problem is I am unwilling to purchase a warmer that is not like I buy Scentsy warmers and that's what I'm gonna use. And if vendor wax doesn't perform in it, then it's not a vendor for me, only because I'm buying Scentsy warmers, and that's just my decision. I know people use hot plates. I know people use tea lights. I get that. I just am not doing that. I do have one hot plate warmer at my work, and that's because I just have one there. And so I may take like these little scent shots from Sparkles and use half a cube at a time just to save it. But I'm just not, I'm not going to purchase special warmers for wax that other vendors can perform in. So that's just who I am, sorry. I did Beezy's wax tarts in Earl Grey and apple tea. This scent is really, really, really pretty. So it's the Earl Grey tea that I just told you about. But whatever, I've never smelled apple tea or something. It is a really, really sweet, like almost like apple chips. Like, you know how apple chips like have such a sweetness to them? Like almost like that. It's a really, really good, scent. I cut this in half and used half and half. I did put it in my warmer in my bedroom, not hot enough. Put it in here, super good. So I need a hotter warmer for this. That's fine with me. The smell was really special enough that that Beezy's is on my list to try now because I haven't had that before. Rose Girls, I finished apple fritter donut holes. This I would recommend. It is good. It is apple fritter and it is donut. It is like fried dough rolled in cinnamon sugar, kind of that baked apple with cinnamon. It is not too heavy of a cinnamon. It's not red hot cinnamon. It's definitely a bakery sweet cinnamon. Great performer, lovely scent, lots of compliments. I don't have any complaints about that. Let me see. Do I have any other Rose Girls? I do. I finished Hello Gorgeous. You'll see it's in a separate bag because this one's split. I did get a haul from her sometime this year where lots of the bags on the side split, but I don't have that problem all the time. It was just that one order, so I don't know if there was a change in the bags or just a bad batch, but so I rebacked this one. But Hello Gorgeous is like a lavender nighttime pepperminty blend, probably some pink sugar, sweet lavender, and peppermint. It's not as pepperminty as Goodnight Moon, which I prefer. Still super good. I really like Hello Gorgeous. It's very pretty. I would repurchase that for sure. And then I did some, I finished some sampler Raspberry Kokomo, which is raspberry rainbow sherbet, saltwater taffy, and ice cream. And then I did the mermaid lemonade Kokomo, which is lemonade, Pop Rocks, and rainbow sherbet, saltwater taffy, and ice cream. So the mermaid one has the lemonade in it, and her lemonade is so strong, and it's almost too sweet for me. It's not very traditional lemonade-y. So I didn't love this one, but I did really love this one, this raspberry one, and it was just raspberry with Kokomo, but it was really good. Like her raspberry is kind of like a jam, like a raspberry jam almost, without it being like that tart raspberry jam one. And normally I don't like stuff that is just sweet, like just sweet fruit and then just sweetness, but for whatever reason, the day that I warmed this, I was like, yes, please. This one was really good. I did some Jim's Daughter. What did I do? Oh, this was a weird situation. I did Hollywood Coffee, which was a blend of coffee and Palo Santo. I did Liquid Hug, which was a blend of coffee and peppermint mocha. And I did But First Coffee, strong cup of morning coffee. Okay, so she used the same oil, I think, in all three of these. The same coffee oil in all of them. And then, so, But First Coffee is the oil by itself. And the oil by itself, I actually don't mind at all. It's like a little bit, it's not super wet dog. It's like kind of just warm coffee. So I did like that one. And then the Palo Santo one, I didn't get any Palo Santo. So hold on, my kids are in here. So, okay, sorry. So the Palo Santo got lost completely for me. In here I can smell it, and it's a really pretty Palo Santo. It's the one that's like a little bit more cologne-y, and a little bit less woody. I like all the Palo Santos. This smells pretty close to L3's Palo Santo, but with the coffee, like it got lost because it's coffee. But this one, the Peppermint Mocha one, I was really pleased with. Yeah, so I don't typically like Peppermint Mocha because it's very chocolatey to me, but the peppermint was really nice, but I made this mistake. So these came in like 2 beans, and so I have 4 warmers in my like living room area, and so I used 2 beans of this, and then I used 2 beans of this, which is Birdie's Making Sense Starbucks Peppermint Mocha type, okay, which is whipped cream, dark chocolate, light mix, fresh mint leaves, peppermint, Starbucks coffee, vanilla, and a hint of chocolate. So I loved the scent, and I was like, oh, it's so good in here. Like it would not die. Like I just kept smelling mostly peppermint mocha, okay? But I don't know whose was doing the work. Like surely they were both doing it, but like I put this in yesterday at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I didn't take it out till 6 o'clock this evening. Like that's a long time for Vendor Wax. Like that is a long time. And I've never had Birdie's Making Sense ever. This is the first time I've ever melted it. So I'm like, is it hers or is it Jim's? I don't know. And so I've never ordered from Birdie's. So I'm like, this was an amazing melt. I'm gonna just go ahead and get Birdie's. She has some stuff on her Etsy site now. So I'm gonna get some. Like, if it's that good, great. If not, I have a bunch more Jim's, whatever. But I've never had Birdie's, but it was amazing. I do know that her wax is softer. So and she does like a lot of like beautiful designs, and I'm really worried about buying her in particular because I've seen how melty her wax is. I worry about buying it because I live in Texas. Not that that's on her, but it gets really hot. So if I was gonna buy it, like now is the time. So I'm gonna. I finished this, which is a custom from Lori, L3 Hot Orange Danish Coffee Bean. And if you watch Lori, she says that she is not like a great mixer, or she doesn't like feel confident in that. I think, like I've had some of her blends, And I'm like, whoa. This is not about the scent. It just got a little cold. She's good at the things that I have smelled that like, or even when she writes stuff on like L3 or something, or like somebody asks for a blends request, I think she does really well. But anyway, so this one, hot orange Danish and coffee bean. So L3 has a scent, Hermione, that has this orange in it, and I just, it does not do well with my nose. I don't know what that scent is, but it's not my jam at all. But this with the coffee bean, because the coffee bean makes it like roasty, toasty, like warm. I loved it. It was really good. It was strong. It was everything that L3 is, which is like a little bit interesting, like makes you walk into a room going, what am I melting? Like, so good. So great blend, Lori. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's really good. I hope that that comes back. I did Plum Tart in Rainbow Melts, and this is, I think, her answer to Sweet Plum Pastry. Plums, warm vanilla crust with hints of citrus and bakery cinnamon. So I don't love Sweet Plum Pastry like everybody does. Like, everybody's like, oh, it's okay. Like, it's not life-changing, but I do not like the plum in this. The plum oil, to me, is like too prominent. And so Sweet Plum Pastry, my complaint is that it's not plum forward and that it doesn't have a good crust note. So now my complaint about this one is that it's way plum forward, which is good. I don't really like the plum it is. It's like too artificial smelling, and like I want like the juicy plum, but like that it's been like baked, and so it's kind of like deep and dark and like rich smelling. And this is like bright, pretty plum, which is fine, but for this scent, I want it to be like that deep plum, and it's not. It's like a really bright, like almost like leaning to the apple family or like the bright fruit family. And I want it to lean more towards like the winter fruit scent. So, and then I don't get a crust note in this one either. I would prefer something that is like a deeper plum and a better crust note. I haven't found like this Sweet Plum Pastry magic that everybody else has, so there's that. I got this, and it's from Caviar Dreams. It's called Bad Santa, which is smoky tobacco leaf, sweet honey, leather, cedar, cherry wood, and vanilla. I don't like these kind of bags. And this was just like, the scent was nice. It was a little powdery to me, actually, and I tried to figure out like what gave me the powdery note, because the tobacco leaf, I can smell, it's very sweet. The honey, I don't really get a lot of that. Leather I do get, but it's not that plasticky leather. It's pretty spot on leather. It is a little bit woody, cherry wood and cedar wood, and then vanilla kind of just makes it creamy. But it kind of read powdery to me, kind of like floral powder. But the performance was really lackluster, honestly. I don't know if it's because this is how it comes like in a bag. Like, I'm not sure. I should have rebagged it, but I just, like, if this is how you send it, like, this is how you expect it to be stored. And so I was just like, whatever. It was just like a little, like, sample almost size. So I was like, whatever. But that was probably a mistake. I've never had Caviar Dreams before. Based on the performance of this, I'm not sure if I would buy it. But if you've bought from Caviar Dreams, I do think that the blend sounds interesting. So if you've bought from them, what is your experience? And then the last that I did, I'm trying to get through every single thing I have from 804 Essentials. You can see this is like a mess. Like, that's how she sent them to me. And there's no scent notes. But this was actually really pretty nice, to be honest with you. Like, you've seen my video about 804. I won't purchase from her, but the scent is very nice. It's actually like kind of watery, a little bit laundry, and a little like, I hate even saying floral, because it's not. It's kind of like the sweetness of a flower without being like floral. So maybe like maybe like the like watery flowers, like kind of like water lily, or I don't smell a lot of salt in here, so it's more aquatic, like river aquatic. It's a really nice scent. It actually performed pretty well, honestly. It was a souffle. Her wax is super soft, so you can just like almost touch it and it'll crumble. But if you want to know why I won't buy 804, you can look in my past videos and see my thoughts. Anyway, so that's everything that I got through. I feel really accomplished. You know, I feel like I'm making a little bit of a dent. I did purchase a few de-stashes. I wish I wouldn't have done that, but that's who I am. I don't know if I have any other orders outstanding right this minute. So we'll see what I have coming in. I do have some like Scentsy stuff coming in for like Christmas presents and stuff. So I'll show you guys those when I get them. Talk to you later. Bye, y'all.